again, we're doing converting between fractions and decimals. So we're starting with some benchmark fractions and decimals that we would just like for you to know right off the top of your head. These are the types of fractions and decimals that when you see them, you go, yes, I know this one. 1/2 is equal to 0.5. Likewise, 0.5 is equal to 1/2. 1/4 is equal to 0.25 or 25 hundredths. 3/4 is equal to 75 hundredths or 0.75. 1/5 is 0.2. 2/5 is 0.4 or twice this amount. 3/5 is 0.6. 4/5 is 0.8. We didn't write it in here, but 5/5 would be equal to 1, right? Because the numerator and denominator are the same thing. 1/3 is equal to 0.33, and we put this little line here to show that those 3's continue on forever. There is not an end to those 3's. Same with 2/3. 2/3 is 0.66 with that little line over it, and that line just means that those 6's continue on. So if we have a fraction that is not part of our benchmark fractions, and we want to know what that fraction would be as a decimal, we use division, and we divide the numerator by the denominator. So I'm going to do 7/8 here. I'm going to divide 7 by 8. And since 8 does not go into 7 evenly, I need to put a decimal here and carry out some zeros. In our classes, we would like you to do this division out to the thousandths place. So I'm going to go out to my thousandths place here and make sure that I put my decimal in the answer as well. 8 does not go into 7, but 8 goes into 70. 8 goes into 70 8 times. And 8 times 8 is 64. When I subtract here, I get 6. And I bring down my 0. 8 goes into 60. 7 times. 8 times 7 is 56. When I subtract, I will get a 4. And when I bring down my next 0, 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. And I have no remainder. So 7/8 as a decimal is 0.875. We can do the same thing on 4/15. So I'm going to divide 4 by 15. I'm going to add my 0 and go to my thousandths place so that I know how much I'm dividing. 15 does not go into 4, but it goes into 40 twice. 2 times 15 is 30. When I subtract, I get 10 and bring down the 0. 15 goes into 100. Let's try 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9. When I subtract, I get 10 again, which means this would be a 6 here. And I'm left with a remainder of 10. Now I can put this remainder of 10 as a fraction at the end. In this case, you can just round it and pretend that it's not there. And we have 0.266. And just to show us that you have a remainder, just add a little dot, dot, dot there so that we know that that fraction continues, but we only need you to go up to the thousandths place. So here's 2 more examples. These are not going to be as nice and neat as the last 2 that we did. 2 divided by 9. 9 does not go into 2, but 9 goes into 20. It goes into 20 twice, which is 18. 9 goes into 20, again, twice. There's a pattern developing here. 9 goes into 20 twice. And we're left with the remainder. So in order to show us this answer, we need you to put 0.222 and then our little dot, dot, dot so that we know that it continues on. Our last example here is 3/7. So 3 divided by 7. 7 goes into 30 3 times. That's 24 times. Sorry. 4 times. That's 28. 7 goes into 20 twice. That's 14. We get 6. 7 goes into 60 8 times, 7 times 8 is 56. And we have a remainder here, so we're going to use that as 0.428 ... Now, if we want to go backwards, we're going to use our place value and our knowledge of place values. So this first decimal right here, or the first place after the decimal, is the tenths place. The second one here is called the hundredths place, and the third one is called the thousandths place. So whatever place value our decimal goes to, that's the denominator of our fraction, our new fraction. So right here I have 57 hundredths, which means that my denominator will be 100, and this fraction is 57 over 100. If you could reduce, you would do so. I cannot reduce this 57 over 100. There's not a number I can divide both of those by, so this would be my answer. 0.3 would be read as 3/10, so I'm going to put that as 3 over 10. Once again, I can't reduce this, so that's my answer. 112 thousandths would be 112 over 1,000. Both of those numbers are even, so I'm going to reduce both of them by 2. And I have 500 in my denominator and 56 in my numerator. They're still both even numbers, so I can keep going by dividing by 2. What?
28.
That's what I was doing, and then I got confused. They're still both even, so I'm going to keep going. over 125. So I want you to give you a few minutes to just try these on your own really quickly, change them all into fractions. Remember that place value that we were talking about? So we have 337 thousandths, 46 hundredths, which can be reduced. I'm not going to take the time right now, but we could reduce that fraction. 7 tenths, 629 thousandths, 63 hundredths, and 9